not making that big a difference, adjust the grind a notch or two at a time. Don't make big adjustments, just one notch at a time. Here earlier, she was like, I used ground coffee and my coffee's not tasting good, right? Think about an apple, right? When you cut an apple open and you leave it out, it's gonna oxidize. Even if you go there 5-10 minutes, it's gonna start oxidizing, right? Same thing with coffee. Coffee's a fruit, right? So as soon as you grind this, oxygen is gonna come in. Once oxygen comes in, it's gonna change the flavor profile. So that's why I wanna hammer down whole bean and roasted. These are very, very important to get the most out of your espresso machine. Yes.
How do you store it after you open it?
So the best way, if, let's say you don't have a grinder and you just have to get ground, totally fine. Recommend getting something like this, a vacuum sealed container. I think you can find cheap ones on Amazon too. Feel free to get a Breville one's amazing, but that's the best way. If you have whole bean, honestly, somewhere in like a closet, away from moisture, away from heat, is the best way to do it. The freezer is a big debate. I'm a pro freezer person. I say it doesn't get like bad. It will go stale, but stays fresher in the freezer, if that makes sense. So let's say if you're going to the cottage for the month or 2 months, put it in the freezer. That's just totally fine. It's gonna not taste its optimal flavor, but there's less oxygen, less CO2 that's gonna come in contact with the bean itself, right?
What about filling up the machine?
Exactly.
Over a week?
Exactly.
Does it go bad?
Yeah,
Should we
so
get
what I
every
recommend,
day?
the one thing about cafes that's really frustrating when you're working at a cafe, any atmospheric pressure is going to change this grind. So if we're close to the door, let's say you're working at a small cafe, or even at home, you keep opening and closing the door all day, or it's a hot day, you're keeping the screen door open, this is going to change. It's coffee is such a porous, like organic substance that it changes over time. Even this, since it's half full, it's going to change over time as well. Maybe not within this course, but if you wait 1-2 hours, you're going to pull a shot and you're like, oh, that's not looking how it was 2 hours ago. That's the reason why. So it's really important to, I recommend if you do have a grinder, if you have something like this, use a single dose of espresso. Just what you're using for the cup, instead of filling this up all the way, because then you're gonna have to empty it, whatnot. But if you have this, it's not the end of the world, honestly. Like, you can keep it in there, it's gonna taste good. It's gonna just diminish flavor after a little.
I think she's worried because remember we were talking about the ground coffee. You're okay with it. You're not gonna notice it.
Any questions on that? I know it's a lot of information, so.
So those ground coffee,
Yes.
Nescafe glass
Yes.
jars that
Yes.
you see in every store.
Yeah.
Basically, that's just formal mainstream.
Yeah.
The bottom of the run
It's-
base
yeah.
coffee with the minimal flavor profile.
It's still gonna taste good, but yeah, like North America coffee culture, it's shifting, I think, towards this in a way, but we're still in that realm. So that's why I'm here to kind of talk,
like
teach
pour
you,
some
right?
water, pour the coffee.
Yeah,
and then
exactly. And a lot of people, once they drink something, they like that, right? So they're gonna get that same bean all the time. Like, explore. There's so many fun coffees out there. So many fun coffees. Explore, try different things, because you're might try something and be like, wow, I love this. I don't know why I was drinking that kind of thing, right?
Depends on the palate as well.
Totally.
It changes. You might love that, like whatever you love. Like
Yeah,
your
and if you
palate will
love it,
change,
stay with
so.
it, you know? But anyways, any questions at all with the processing, roasting, shipping? I know it's a lot of information to put on.
You're Toronto-based?
Yes, yeah, right. Bloor and Lansdowne. It's 50 Wade Avenue. It's kind of like hidden.
And you roast there?
Yeah, we have a whole roaster there, cafe as well. Yeah.
Some smaller shops have like a small little roaster. Is that
Yeah.
like gimmicky for show? Or?
It's kind of both. Yeah, it's nice to show because you have the roaster in a cafe. It's nice to go to a cafe and have that experience.
Yeah.
But it's kind of for show too, in a way. We're just a big wholesale company, so we like to have a big space for all that.
Where do you get your beans from? What country?
This one is a Colombian-Brazilian mix. All of it depends. Like right now, we have one from Rwanda, we have one from Panama as well, and they all rotate after a while as well. Another thing too, like if you see the roast date, good rule of thumb, 5 months before this is on the tree. So 5 months ago, this was picked. That's amazing. That's ultimate. honestly, flavor profile. It doesn't expire. You can have coffee a year from now. It's gonna taste like coffee, but not like how you had it a year ago. Yeah. So definitely you can still have it. Yeah. Yes, sir.
Yes, I was just wondering. So when, like, you mentioned color profile, after it sits for a while, it's just gonna be like tasteless. There's still a coffee flavor
There
though,
is
right?
a coffee flavor, but those kind of fruit tones, like the chocolate nougat notes, are going to diminish. You're still going to have more of like a coffee, might be a more of like bitter coffee flavor. You
Yeah.
may get a little bit of this, but you're not going to get a whole rich flavor profile.
Okay. So you want to fill up your machine mostly like just a cup or two
Like
at
you'll
a
see
time?
cafes always filling up their machines all the time because they want no oxygen to come inside here.
Oh, okay.
Right? If there's a little bit of oxygen, there's this much beans and they're not filling it up, they're gonna have to adjust the grind as well. Another thing too, if you're putting different coffee in them too, you might have to change the grind a bit too. Medium and dark roast are very approachable. You can it's very minimal change. It's light roast that might give you trouble. Cool thing about espresso machines, you can use light, medium, dark. A lot of people think medium and dark roast you gotta stick with. You can use any kind of bean. It's just light roast might be a little finicky to kind of adjust.
You mentioned adjusting the grind.
Yes.
If you didn't think the time, what do? You make it finer or you make it?
It depends.
Coarser?
Exactly. I'll go through that when we go through that part inside. So the next portion, I'm going to talk about extraction. So we're actually going to be talking about the machine itself and extraction. So when we think about extraction, what is extraction?
Hot water going through the ground.
Exactly, right? Exactly. Perfect. Exactly. Extraction is we're putting that hot water through the better grinds and extracting all those flavor compounds, right? Those chocolate, nougat, let's say citrus, whatever flavor profile, we're trying to extract those flavors from that, right? So
that's not roasting.
No.
Roasting is what happened before the beans came in the bag.
Exactly. Yeah. So it goes from green bean, the processing that farmers do, ship it to the roaster, they roast it, and now it's good to go.
So it's not like I have beans at home and now I'm gonna make white roast. Now I'm gonna
Oh
make
no. You would have to have your
The
own
beans have to
roaster.
be done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
In terms of flavor profile, I heard that light roast is actually the most healthiest and dark roast most healthiest. Is that true?
It's caffeine wise it is. It's weird. The lighter roast you're actually, it's like you're just roasting. The darker the roast you go, you're diminishing all those flavors, right? It's gonna be more citrusy, like floral in the light. As soon as you keep going chocolate, and then it's more like darker tobacco kind of attitude, right? Caffeine wise, it's always gonna be a little bit higher on the light because you're roasting it a little bit less than the medium. Okay, so this one's really cool. So this is the Oracle Tool Warriors. This is our latest that we came out with last year. This one's really cool. It's all the automatic manual features as well. So I'm going to show you the automatic way of doing the espresso. But before this, I want to talk about what we're going to look for in the espresso, right? So like we talked about, we're extracting all those flavor compounds, right? We're extracting acidity, sugars, and tannins. These are the main three that we're extracting. But when we look at a shot, we don't know when is all these flavor profiles. You're like, I hope this is all going, right? So I want to show you indicators of what to see, right? So when we first start espresso, you might see it doesn't come out right away. It takes about 7 to 10 seconds and then start dripping, right? This is what we call pre-infusion. What it's doing is it's just soaking up the puck. Those first 7 seconds, it's soaking up the puck, and then it's gonna do the extraction, so we have a full flavor profile. All those extracted flavors are coming out. If we push water out right away, it's not gonna extract all those flavors evenly. So you're gonna have a more sour or more bitter shot, for example, right? So what we're looking for is those acidic and sugars and tannins, and they kind of dissolve in different portions. So in that pre-infusion, that's when all the acidic qualities will come out. If you stop the shot there and you drink it, it's gonna be so sour, it's gonna taste like lemons. But as you go, once it gets to that 10-second mark, it's gonna push up the pressure, right? It's gonna start releasing all the compounds. That's when you get the sugars, the crema starts to form. Right when you're like 20, 25 seconds, you'll start to see the sugar or the espresso start to wobble a bit. That's because you've dissolved everything in here. You've dissolved all the sugars, you've dissolved all the acid. The last thing that's getting is all the tannic qualities. Think about like drinking a red wine, for example, those tannic qualities, right? this one lady, she told me it's like putting your tongue on a 9-volt battery. And I was like, oh. I was like, okay, I don't know. But kind of like that, right? It has those tannic qualities. And you want that. A lot of people think you don't want bitter, but without that bitter, it's going to be too much sour, or it's not going to be rounded, right? So we want all those three combined together in harmony, and that's what we call a balanced espresso. You might hear under-extracted, over-extracted. If we're not getting the harmony of these three, that's when those things happen, right?
Why the Japanese put a little sheet so they
Oh, perfect. That is
over
awesome.
and under, like goes over and under, just as a visual on the visual runner. So,
Yeah.
so this is what we kind of
So this one, really cool, automatic. If I push it to the right, this one does the grinding, tamping, all of it, all together. Like I mentioned earlier, I think it's like a little mini barista here, doing all the work for you. All the tamping, grind adjustments, all that, it does it on the fly. So you don't have to worry about any of that too, right? For example, my girlfriend, she's just getting into coffee. This would be perfect for her to start, but she wants to get into the manual, right? So this is a perfect machine for her, but also has all the manual features which I'll go through. It's kind of perfect for me. So best of both worlds. So as you can see, as I grind, you can see a full level tamp. There should be kind of maybe a little bit of grinds, kind of loose grinds at the top. You can see it's totally level.
Is that for
Two shots.
Okay.
Yes.
And that much space that
Yes,
between the
yeah.
top?
You definitely want some space because once we do that pre-extraction, the grinds are going to expand. So we want a little bit of space. So you can kind of see it.
You see the shaded area? That's what we want. That's where you're trying to get.
Oh, there's a little.
Sorry, I'll show you.
Yeah.
I'll be the, no, I'm going to show you. I'll be the manual person.
Yeah.
I'm not the automatic. We just did a 13-hour event yesterday. We were talking and talking and talking, but I was over there and he was over here. Now I'm on this
I
side.
know.
So this is manual. So this is the manual thing because you're talking about your machine.
Exactly, yeah.
So what you're trying to do is that's doing it for you. That is being him inside there,
Yeah.
and you're trying to be like him. So this is not enough. That's too much. See that silver? That's just perfect.
And how hard?
You'll see.
How much pressure do you put down on it?
He'll let you know.
Yeah, I'll go through that when we do the manual. Okay, so when we pull the espresso, I want you to look at the espresso, right? So it should be around 7 to 10 seconds. So right now, it's soaking up that cup. You don't hear it, right? It's because it's using 2 bars of pressure. I'm gonna go through bars of pressure again, but now you'll see, hopefully around the 10-second mark, it's gonna start coming out. So that first 10 seconds, it's just soaking up the cup. Now all the sugars, the cremas, all those things are gonna start forming. Now when we get to the 20, 25-second mark, you'll start to see the espresso starts to wobble, right? It's because all those tannic qualities are coming out. It's almost lighter in color in a way as well. So you can kind of tell that this is kind of, once it's settled, you'll see the crema start to rise and the espresso kind of go down. So you want a nice level crema on top, right? Especially with those who want to create latte art. Without crema, you're not going to be able to create latte art. Because the latte art's going to sit on top of the crema, right? So this is exactly No.
It's just
Yeah. If it's balanced, it shouldn't be bitter at all, actually. Yeah. So yeah, that's the kind of manual way or automatic way of doing this, right? But at this point, I get at the last minute, how much coffee do I use, or how long does it run for, right? Like that's a very reasonable question, right? And this is determined by, it's called a brewing recipe or a brewing ratio. There's 3 things that determine that, right? How much grounds that we're going to use, how much water that's going to come out, finished espresso, and how much time this is going to take, right? So this is called the espresso recipe. For the grounds, you'll hear a term called dose. This is the dose, right? How much we're putting in. What I recommend, this one holds up to 22. The smaller ones, if you have a smaller one, hold up to 19, right? So it really depends, but a good way to start is around that 18 to 19 mark. This is what, for propeller, we recommend 18 to 22. If you have this one, 18 to 22. So don't go below that, don't go above that, because we want to stay within this recipe, right? After we have that dose, the yield is going to be 2 times that. So it's a 1 to 2 ratio. So if you have 18 grams of espresso, we're going to have 36 grams of liquid coming out. Does that make sense? Or let's say we have 15 grams of espresso, we should have 30 grams of liquid coming out.
Just to be clear, so if you're doing 18 to 22, is that for like a single shot?
Double shot.
A
If you're
double
doing a
shot.
single
Okay.
shot,
All right.
do like just half that, like 7 to 9 kind of idea. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's what we call. It's called the yield. How much yield of liquid you're getting, and within this, we have to have a certain amount of time, right? It can't be like 2 minutes and this is happening. We want this to happen within 25 to 32 seconds. So these 3 variables, if you're wanting to nail down espresso, you have to nail down these 3 variables, right? So I'm going to show you the manual way of kind of finding that. With the manual, I always recommend having a scale. It's really hard to tell by volume how much grind you're going to put in, especially if you're going coarser, finer. If you go finer, you're going to have a little bit less coffee because it's a little bit less grinds that are going to come through. But if you're going coarser, it's going to be more full. So you can't really tell by volume. It's really important to get a scale. Just try to get it the scale if possible. I have one that from Amazon, it's like $30, really cheap. This one's a little bit more expensive that I brought from Color. But anyways, what we're gonna do, we're gonna tear the scale. We're gonna tear the scale because we want to see how much coffee that's coming in, right?
What do you mean you're saying that tearing it? What does that mean?
So when we put this on,
You're zeroing it out?
right? If we, let's say this is 0, right?
Okay.
If we put this with the coffee, it's going to measure this and the coffee together.
you're just
So it's going to
zeroing
be
it out.
Exactly.
Oh, okay.
So, zeroing it out.
That's not what he meant. I'm like, I think that's what he's talking about. I want to make sure.
0. We're
Okay,
gonna
so you're
grind
just.
the espresso. This one, it's going to do the tamping, but I'll show you the tamping technique. So like Terry mentioned, love Breville products that they have little indicators, which really help out.
Just mark some of my customers are camping too light, and then it's going to come down fast. And then the other customers are like, I had a bad day. And he's like, oh my God, dude, the water can't get through, right? Is that correct?
Okay, so let's say this isn't tamped, right? So what you want to do, ideally you want to get it not on the counter itself because it's not as level, right? Sorry, I'm trying to show you guys too. But all other purposes, it's totally fine as long as you have a good, you're not wobbling a bit. I like to just keep it here so you have like a nice kind of base. You can also get tamping mats as well. But the main purpose, you want to take your index finger and your middle thumb, kind of push it right kind of together, and we're going to push this down. A lot of people use their arm, right? Even if you have like a guest, their family over, you're gonna
Like the little black line, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you want to kind of take it out just so we're kind of tearing through the surface and adding air.
Oh, okay.
If we go too high, it's just going to push on top and nothing's going to go in. So when we first start, we're going to start it inside and then we're going to take it out to create that foam. And this is what's going to create the aeration.
Oh, okay.
So when we start it up, it's going to be quite loud because it's trying to find surface area. So we're going to bring this up, using this as a guide.
What about you?
I'm going to bring it up just a tiny bit.
Oh my God. Okay.
So you can kind of see it's kind of starting to create foam.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Oh my
Once you're at like a
God.
body temperature or your desired foam, when we put it back in, now the paper ripping sound's going to stop because we're not adding any air now. We're just heating up the milk once we have our desired desired milk level.
Okay.
So yeah, just keep it this along here. I like to push it to the side so we can create this whirlpool action.
And for the heating, it stops on its own, right?
It's on this one, it's manual, but you want to go around 60. I'll let you hold it so you can kind of tell how hot it is.
Okay.
So 60 is right around where cafes would do it.
Yeah.
So you can kind of feel it. It's like almost, it's like 1/1000 too hot. That's how I
Okay.
kind of describe it in a way.
Alright.
So when you have small bubbles, kind of just tamp it down and it should have this like micro silk foam. If you're having big bubbles, just kind of keep tamping it down and it should go down.
Okay.
So then when you incorporate it, you want to go a little bit higher, kind of like a pencil width. I go in circles, steady, steady. About like 3/4 of the way,
Yeah.
I go on it and I put right in the middle.
And then you go, yeah, I want it strong. And I go, okay, let's go.
Okay.
Yeah. So steady, 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 and then right when you're kind of 3/4, tilt the cup so you can be kind of closer to that middle area. And
Okay.
all I'm doing is putting a little bit more force in my push.
All right.
And that's what's going to create the dollop. As long as you have this dollop, run it through, and once you get comfortable with the heart, that's when you can start building up on it. as well.
Okay.
And then you can start looking at videos and all these fun things as well. And then you can tell once it sits for a while. Latte art too, it's a good indication of, it's visually pleasing, but you can tell that the texture is good, the temperature is good because there's not many big bubbles, and the volume is good too. So if you kind of pull it back,
Next Saturday I'll be here.
you can kind of tell that right around here is where the liquid's gonna start. So you can kind of tell how much foam you got as well. So I would say this is like a latte consistency kind of idea.
That looks like a latte, yeah.
So you can kind of do it that way too.
I see.
So if you want more foam, you just have to do that aeration double the amount. So I would say like 5, that paper ripping sound, 5 to 5 seconds for like a latte, double that for a cappuccino.
Okay.
Do you want to
Interesting. Yeah, I'll try. I was curious about like the actual process of this, because the latte art, it's a lot of practice that you need,
Yeah,
right?
exactly. I'm just gonna get one going so we can practice.
Oh my God, you would love Ashlyn. She does Richmond Hill. I believe she's there on Saturdays. Yeah, if you want, you can go on.
So again, I'll let you do it. So you want to hold I like to hold it with my non-dominant and hold this with my temperature so I can gauge the temperature.
Okay.
So feel free however you want to grab it. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're gonna lock it in, right?
Oh, okay.
We're gonna start it. Once it starts, we're gonna bring it down just a tiny bit. So we're bringing that air. Yep. So keep doing that aeration. We're gonna keep bringing it down just a tiny bit. Perfect, perfect. And right around now will be a latte, so you can just put it back up. So now we're just heating up the milk. You can still see that whirlpool action coming.
Yeah.
This will give you a good indication that's all getting kind of incorporated.
So we're tilting for the whirlpool.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. Perfect. You're using that as a guide, creating that whirlpool action. Once it's hot enough, let me just know when you're good.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty hot.
Perfect. So we're gonna bring this down.
Okay.
Don't worry about this one. So what we're gonna do, you can bring it over here. Since there's small bubbles, I like to just tap it down. So you can be kind of aggressive with it. A little bit more. It's not gonna come down or anything, just try that.
Oh.
And you can swirl it around. Perfect. And I just like to make sure it's nice and swirled so you can kind of see, oh, it's pretty good. There's not much bubbles.
Okay.
Perfect. So now we're able to incorporate.
So hold this with the...
However you want. I like to do it with my non-dominant hand.
Oh, okay.
And then pour with my dominant hand.
Oh,
yeah.
All right.
So hold that. Start a little bit higher. And we're gonna do a steady stream. Yep. Perfect, perfect. Yep. Have that flow. Keep going, keep going. And right around there, we can stop. We're gonna tilt this back.
Okay.
And we're gonna push this right in the middle, but a little bit more
right in the
force.
middle?
Yep.
Was it a Breville one or was it something else? Or
Push it a little bit more forward.
okay.
Kind of like that. Do you kind of get the feeling of what you have to do?
Oh.
So what's happening is you got to kind of pour. It's a little bit finicky because it's so foreign, right?
Yeah.
So once you get comfortable with it, doing that steady flow right as soon as you can will help you have this less of a dollop.
So I don't have to like really stop and then put it back
You don't
again?
really have to. I like to just teach people that so they can have a little break and then have that second to be like, okay, boom.
To make sure I'm focusing on a different thing.
Exactly, but
Right.
don't feel free. Baristas don't do that. Like, I don't do that when I actually am on the bar. I'll
Yeah.
just do it. It's just for the teaching purposes. I like to do that.
Interesting.
Because all you want to do is create that dot, and then you can start doing little designs after that as well.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, just when you're doing it, steady, steady. That flow rate is perfect. You want like a pencil width of milk going down.
Yeah.
Pencil width of milk, and then when you're kind of at that area, you tilt it down so you have this part's closer to get to, and you just push it right in the middle.
Okay.
Instead of doing this kind of steady flow, what we're doing is pushing it in.
Oh.
Yeah, and that's gonna push the foam on top, and then you can just slide through.
Okay, makes
Yeah.
sense.
And again, it takes practice. Like, it's one of those things. Like, I remember doing it. One day it just happened. 5 months
Yeah.
in, I was like, oh, it just happened. And ever since that, I just got my own technique down. Everybody has their own steaming technique. Like, you know, I was showing a dominant hand. Do it however you're comfortable with. You know, the main thing is just getting that locked in, started up. And then when you want to do the aeration, I like to just put it to the side a bit to create that whirlpool action. Those are the main things. Once you get comfortable with that, you'll start to feel like you'll get comfortable creating microfoam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it doesn't really make that big of a difference of how long you aerate it?
It makes a difference in the amount of foam you want in the drink.
Okay, so if you want to do some art afterwards.
It's a little, if you're foaming it for like 10, 12, 15 seconds, it might be a little bit harder to do latte because there's a lot more foam inside here.
Yeah.
Because what you want is more like a thin microfoam, but what we're doing, if we're putting more foam, it's gonna be like a dense foam that's inside. And that kind of creates this. It will kind of dollop on top instead of being able to create a design with that thinner microfoam in a way. So like ideally you want a latte consistency to do latte art. You can still do cappuccino. It's just all about incorporating it as soon as you can and not getting big bubbles. That's like the big thing. So aerate that. If you're making a cappuccino, aerate it for like 10 seconds, even like count it down 10 seconds, and then put it into steam the milk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Just getting, it's all about like kind of just trial and error, kind of practice kind of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
But yeah, I'm gonna be doing more master classes. I'll be not gonna be here, I think, but Terry's gonna be here. She knows a lot about drive machines too. So if you ever have any questions or anything, feel free to come by.
Really cool, yeah.
Yeah.